Hello. So that was me taking a nap because I slept like hell, horribly. I'm a little bit sick, and yeah, I'm not feeling very well, and I'm so sorry that it took me so long to upload this video. It's just that I've been so busy, which is a good thing. So many commissions. It's actually a little bit overwhelming, but I don't want to complain, obviously, because it's work and things are going great. So it's funny because I'm feeling horrible and kind of moody, but things are going actually pretty good. So I don't want to like complain for how I'm feeling right this moment. So also another good news, but that's gonna go at the end of the video again. Anyway, so this video is because I wanted to let you know how I ended up here, and also it was a good video idea because I can't do a vlog because of how I'm feeling and the lack of time. So I thought it was gonna be a good idea to just sit down here and explain to you how on earth I ended up living in my car. Before I get into it, one of the good news that I have is I got a collab for shoes. These shoes, they're good Fitville, and I don't know why they contacted me. Maybe because I mentioned in one of my videos, or maybe because I went to the gym, or that I need good shoes for work, and they sent me this pair of shoes. They didn't pay me. It's not a sponsor because they didn't give me any money, but they sent me just the shoes for free. And I've been wearing them for like a week, and I have to tell you, they're very good. They're very comfortable. They're a bit chunky and big, but your toes are free, and that's what I need. I need good support also, and they give me good support. So I'm very happy with these shoes, and I put a code if you are looking for new shoes. These are great. Anyway, also I'm gonna give you an update on my dad. Things are going great. And what else? I don't know. I'm gonna drive away from here. So I called my friend, and she offered me to stay at her home. I can crash at her place for a few days until I feel better, so that's great. And in fact, I'm gonna have to cancel one of my Target shifts because I'm feeling terribly bad, and I have so many commissions. It's a bit overwhelming again, but it's great. Okay, so here we are. This is my friend's house. I was gonna have this chat in my car, but everyone left, so I thought I'm gonna have the house to myself for a couple of hours so I can make this video here. And there's a few people who made a comment. I just hide those users. I don't have any negative comments, almost, because I take care of them. I don't have space or energy for stupid, crappy comments. So anyway, so there's a few people who think that I don't live in my car, that I'm faking it. I'm not. Jesus. I am very lucky to have my best friend living in this area. This is actually the reason I end up in this area is because of my friend. She lives here. And I knew that if anything happened, like right now that I'm sick, I was gonna be able to come here and not having to spend money on a hotel room, right? Anyway, let's get into it. How I ended up from working on a very high-paying job as a script supervisor in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, working in movies and commercials, to living in my car with debt and no job. If I try to think and go to the root of the problem, I honestly think is that I ended up choosing the wrong career. I went to film school, and I should have gone to art school, because my life, I've never been happy when I was working in the film industry. I was miserable, and everything ended up crashing down with COVID. Like, for many people, that's when you realize, what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this? So when I finished high school, I went against my instincts and ended up going to film school instead of art school, because I thought that working in the film industry had more options. There's so many people working on a film set or in a television show, but an artist, it was so unrealistic to me that I just said, no, I'm gonna do something creative, but something that has more job opportunities, right? So I ended up going to film school. And all the people that end up in a cult or an LML, pyramid schemes or activist groups or very strong ideologies, you're like trapped, and you don't want to see the truth that's happening. So you lie to yourself, and you think that everything is fine and that you're gonna make it work, because you spend so much time, so much money, and so much energy in this thing that you can't just give up. It's been years and years, and money and education, and You can't just you say, you know what, this is not for me. You just don't want to do that. The problem, I think it was that I loved film school. I had the best time in film school. I loved everyone there. I met a lot of people. I fell in love. And so I just had a lot of fun. So I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do. But there was something inside of me that every time I would compare myself to other, because I wanted to be a director, right? To other directors or wannabe directors, there was something missing. But I wasn't sure. I thought it was just the lack of education that I was eventually going to feel that way. I never did. Okay, anyway, I ended up going to UCLA to an international program that it was the best thing ever. Not because of the school, because of my experience living in LA back in the early 2000s. I met a lot of people, friends, like my best friend right now. I met her while doing that experience, and it was mostly about the community and not the program, because again, every time I would see a set or a job in the industry, I would get like, oh God, I'm not sure I want to do this. But again, I was just delusional. I was like, this is what I want to do. I didn't. Now that I think back, it was so stupid. Anyway, so during those years when I was going to UCLA, I was working in a restaurant. I was the happiest that I've ever was. I was working, 6 hours a day, 4 days a week. And I had my room, I had roommates, I had money to spend everywhere. It was so much fun. I used to spend so much time rollerblading in Santa Monica. I had the time of my life. But again, I didn't like the job. I didn't like working in the industry. So years passed, and that I ended up working in commercials as a assistant, as a PA, production assistant. I hated it. It was, anyway. And then I realized that I wanted to do something different, obviously, because being a PA sucks. And I don't know how I found out about this course on script supervising. So I went and did this course to become a script supervisor. If you just want to know what that is, please Google it, because it's just kind of complicated to explain. And the job was much better, and I started making a lot of money. I still didn't like it, because I thought, well, it's because I want to be a director. And I had the opportunity to direct a film, to co-direct a film called Blue Lips. I shot that with a couple of friends from this group of friends that I had in LA. And I had the best time of my life. We shot in Pamplona with the running of the bulls. It was such an amazing experience that's when I realized this is not gonna work. Why? Because it was an experimental film, and there were 6 different directors. So we direct our own little story. Everything was related to each other. So long story short, there was 6 other directors, me and 5 others, and I could see the passion in these people that I didn't have. And I did a very good job, but I realized, man, this guy, he's like really into it, and I'm not. Something is not right. So when I went back home from Spain, I started going to this painting workshop just to have a creative outlet, because my job wasn't very creative at the time, working as a script supervisor. And something came back to me, and I started realizing, shoot, this is what I want to do. So I started painting and drawing and making like pet portraits, and then I thought, well, maybe I should open an Etsy shop. So I did. So for many, many years, I still work as a script supervisor, feeling miserable. Every time someone would call me for a job, I would get this pain in the pit of my stomach, and I would be resentful towards the people that were hiring me. And I was very aware of this, and I felt so ungrateful and miserable, and I hated everyone. And I have to say, Hollywood sucks, but crew people are amazing. The people that suck, they're usually higher up. I hated Hollywood. I hated LA. The whole vibe sucks. And I realized that I didn't want to do this anymore. I was living in this apartment. It was the rent was great for where I was living. And that's one of the reasons that I was stuck, because you think, man, I can't leave this apartment. This is great. I'm having this job that you make a lot of money doing this job. I can't resign to all this, but I was miserable. So COVID came, and that's, how you realize that you need to do really what you really want to do, that you can't live your life being miserable. What's the point? So that's when I thought, you know what? I'm gonna change my life. And I jumped in too quickly, super quickly. I was already having a little bit of debt, not too much. But then I thought my Etsy shop was doing very good. Between, I don't know, 2017, 18, 19, it was doing great. And in COVID, it was doing also very good. But then it kind of died. But that's when I decided that I was gonna leave my apartment and start living out of my Etsy shop. It was gonna be 100% full-time. I was gonna figure out how to make it work. And it didn't work. So after COVID, after, you know, the 2020 was the worst year, and 2021, my shop, because there were so many people opening up shops on Etsy, that my shop got, you know, just died. And I was like, oh God, I left my apartment. I was living with my parents for a couple of months until I figured out what I wanted to do. And then when I came back, I realized I didn't have any place to live. I didn't have any job, any money. I did have a little bit of money from my Etsy shop, but it was not nearly enough. So I thought, what am I gonna do? And I realized, wait, I always wanted to kind of experience living in a van, right? Because I've been watching van life and all that type of content on YouTube since 2018, I think. And I always thought that was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know how. And again, you need to have like an online job or something that you can do remotely. And that wasn't the case. So I thought, this is it. I have to do it right now. So I jumped in, and with debt, I had this small car. It's a Prius. So I decided, well, I'm gonna do it, whatever. I don't care that it's like a super small car, and I can't travel, but I'm gonna just take the leap and start working, trying to pay off my debt, and eventually figure out a way to make more money with my art. And that's what I'm trying to do. So here we are, working at Target, paying off my debt. I got monetized. Yes, can you believe it? I can't believe I'm monetized on YouTube. Because doing a YouTube channel while doing a van life, I know it's a cliche at this point, but I really wanted to do that, so I'm doing it. I have to say that doing this YouTube channel was the best thing that I've ever done, because I lived in my car for like over a year now. And since I started my YouTube channel, like these last videos, not because I have videos from last year, those don't count. But this year, when I started on August, oh my God, my life changed so much, because it gives me accountability. Like I have to report back and show these people that I'm making it, and that if someone is watching and are thinking about doing this, you can do it. If I'm paying off my debt, and I'm actually having a life that I like, and that I can potentially make it even better. If I can do that, you can too. So go ahead, take the leap. So I wanted to report back on my debt. I think the last time I updated my debt, it was at $7,950 something. Right now we are at $7,523. Yeah. So things are happening. I am extremely happy and miserable at the same time, because I'm sick. And I would have loved to make like a vlog, but I just can't. So I'm sorry for this sit down video. It might be a little bit boring, but this is what's happening right now. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking until the end, and I see you in the next one. Ciao.